Yo, what's going on, everybody? So today I want to have a conversation with you guys about something that I feel was getting set up in Boruto episode 132, which is Sakura figuring out that Sasuke is actually from the future. And I think that there's a strong possibility that this is the direction that the anime is going to be going in. Now, I'm going to tell you guys why right here. So essentially, when you look at that moment when Sasuke bumps into Sakura, okay? When he bumps into the kid version of Sakura, my man wasn't taking off running because he thought the FBI was coming. He didn't think the Anbu FBI was coming to knock down his door, but instead he knew that, okay, I have to avoid any type of interaction with Sakura because Sakura and I have a very strong connection, and it was actually strong when they were gaining. That's something that's a huge misconception that I might talk about in a completely separate video. But what I love about this moment is the fact that Sasuke takes off, Sakura looks down, and at first I thought that it was a picture of the family, but a lot of you guys pointed out in the episode review that more than likely that was actually the note that Sarada wrote. And in that note you have mentions of Sasuke, you have mentions of Kakashi, you have mentions of Mama, and all these different things leads me to believe that that's something that they are going to set up, because we've already had Boruto interacting with the younger version of his father, and much to a lot of people's displeasure with it, if you will, that's probably not going to affect the timeline. So I think that because they're playing with a few different laws of time travel, this could be an opportunity to have Sasuke interact with Sakura, and I think that there's a couple things leading into this, okay? The very first thing is the fact that Sakura does know medical ninjutsu, and they are going to be fighting against Urashiki, and Sakura hasn't progressed to a point now because she's still very early on in her training, so she hasn't progressed to a point where she probably could start getting to a point where she can replenish chakra, especially somebody like Sasuke who has a massive reserve of chakra, but she still knows enough to where she can help. Now I know somebody's gonna say it's only been a few weeks, that's not enough. I want you guys to go back to like chapter 238, it's either 237 or 238 of the Naruto manga. In that chapter, Tsunade notes that only having 3 months of training, Sakura has made huge strides. She remarks the fact that Sakura is much further ahead than she should be. So this is really interesting because this is only a few weeks, so we get an opportunity to see how far Sakura has progressed when it comes to medical ninjutsu. And given the extreme battle between Sasuke and Urashiki, this is something I do think does play a potential role and potentially happen. Now, I think the other thing we have to look at is just as the fact is Hinata, as she spoke with Boruto for a few moments, she was able to pick up on the fact that there's a strong bond between herself and Boruto that she can't particularly put into words. I think that we're gonna have the same thing going on with Sakura and Sasuke. If you guys go back to the episode, Sasuke briefly held her hand. The other thing is Sasuke looked her in her eyes. Now, there's a few different things to where they could play on. Now, they could go the cheesy route. They could go the whole direction of Sakura recognizes him because there's just so many times she's looked into Sasuke's eyes and dealing with his mannerisms that, you know, she would completely pick up on Sasuke and she knew it right from the beginning. They could go that route. I think that would be a bad idea, but I think that that is something they could kind of go with. Now, the other thing is I think that once again, if you have Sakura meeting with the adult version of Sasuke and she's able to put 2 and 2 together, I think that that's going to make her even further driven for bringing Sasuke back to the village. Now, obviously, you have issues with the timeline. So a lot of people don't like it when I say this, but I think what they're going to end up doing is one of two things. Either when Boruto and Sasuke leave the past and go back to the future, essentially everything that happened in that time is going to be removed from the history because they're no longer there in the past. The other thing that I think could happen is Sasuke uses some type of genjutsu to wipe the memories of everyone who's involved. Now, obviously that means that Sasuke would have to use some type of mass level genjutsu. Otherwise, he would have to go person by person or get everyone conveniently gathered around and then cast them on the genjutsu. It would have to be something like that. Now, I think that we can rule out the whole thing that they're creating alternate timelines. They're not following all the stuff that you get from Terminator, but what they are doing is they're essentially playing with multiple forms of time travel. They go with the bootstrap theory, they go with the time paradox. They borrow so many different elements that it's actually fascinating to get to. But I definitely think the Sakura and Sasuke type of connection is something that we should look forward to. But I want to know from you guys, what do you guys think about the potential of Sasuke and kid Sakura meeting each other? And what are the 3 things you want to happen when this interaction takes place? But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.